pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
A little bit
Follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series presented by Voiles Trucking, live from the Texas Motor Speedway. We're so glad you're joining us here tonight on JTN. As always, my name is JoeTowNetwork. Joining me up here in the booth tonight, you know him, you love him. He is the one and only, our resident masshole, Dewey Schramm III.
A proud resident masshole at that.
Technically, we have two of you.
We do.
You and Ricky, so, you know, but tonight you're our resident from the state of Massachusetts. I was going to say great state, but never been. So, anyways, Dewey, 117 laps tonight from Texas. Welcome back to the booth.
Yeah, glad to be back. And, of course, we've got our resident masshole on the track, too. Zach Rogers in the 5 representing out there tonight. Should be a fun one here tonight, of course. Got the dual races going on, so we've got racing all over the place tonight. And if you're like me and got one up on the computer and one up on the TV, it's going to be a good time.
You can't say that, Dewey. All your attention is focused on the track here.
Oh, it's all on the track. It's background noise for me. We have more important things to focus our eyes on right now.
We do. It is race number 7 of the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series here in 2024. And right now, Tyler Mallon holds a 26-point lead over Zach Rogers through 6 races. Dewey, it's not insurmountable by any means, but it's starting to be a little daunting for the driver of the number 5.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised that it didn't take this long for the 5 or the 18 to get that lead in the points. Of course, you saw how dominant he was last year, and to start this season picking up right where he left off and already almost a race ahead of the field, not even a fourth of the way through the season. So, again, not insurmountable, but at some point you're going to have to start playing catch up and starting to take a lot more risks to make that ground up.
Risk versus reward is going to be the key here tonight at Texas. This track, of course, it's the original configuration of this racetrack, Dewey. This track, it's fast, it's wide, but really, we've seen these drivers kind of consolidate around that lower to middle groove of this speedway tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a low groove track here at Texas Motor Speedway. The old layout, not the 2017 to present layout. So if you were expecting that, sorry, I guess. But so we've got on tap for you here tonight, 1.5 mile track here in the great state of Texas. That's going to do it for qualifying. And just as we said before, Tyler trying to build an even higher points lead after this race, and he's going to start it off by winning the pole here for tonight. So just like that, another race, another pole.
Another race, another pole, hopefully another win if you're on team number 18. Dewey, as you said, qualifying has concluded. Why don't you take us through tonight's starting lineup?
And as we said, leading us to the green will be that 18 of Tyler Mallon. To his outside, it'll be the 5 of Zach Rogers, first and second in points, rolling off first and second here tonight. Back in row 2, it'll be Steve Grant in the 011, and to his outside, Ken Hansen in the number 9 machine. Wiley King, fastest in practice, I believe, will roll off in 5th, with Rick Craddock in the 22 coming back here tonight in 6th. Terry Scott and Joshua Clements will make up row number 4, with BSR Silver Bullet and Brain Fade back, rounding out the top 10. Monty Keller and Ricky J back in row number 6, with Brian Voiles and Magoo back in 13th and 14th. RJ Rusty and Nelly back in row 8, and rounding out the 17 car field here for tonight, it'll be BSR Eli in the 114. So a pretty solid field here for tonight, and I think a lot of these guys can definitely be contenders as this thing goes on.
This race is going to be a good one tonight. We've been talking down in the garage area. The 18 team picks the 5 to win. The 5 picks the 18 to win. And the truth probably lies somewhere in between. Those two have been evenly matched. The 18 has gotten the upper hand most races this year. But Dewey, if you're looking at this field, who's the one driver out there that you would pick to kind of upset the balance that we've had here at the start of the year between Tyler Mallon and Zach Rogers?
Honestly, of everybody that's in the field tonight, I'm going to keep my eyes on that 095 of Wiley King. Just mentioned him being the fastest of all of our cars in practice. Qualified up in 5th. Had a strong run 2 weeks ago at Darlington. So I'm looking for that 095 to have a great night tonight and maybe upset these top 2 and maybe steal the win away from him here.
Now, we've seen Wiley King have some great speed this year, but this is a team that's still trying to finish these races. They got disqualified last week for a technical error.
Yeah.
They can't catch a break to get the finishes they deserve because, again, last week, Wiley King up inside the top 5, had a good run going, and just disaster struck at the wrong time.
Yeah, and 2 weeks ago at Darlington, he had one of the fastest cars on the track and just faded down the running order late in the going and didn't quite finish where I'm sure he wanted to. But again, we know the speed is there, and quite honestly, the speed is there across this entire field. Looking at the qualifying results, everyone that took a time of the 9 was within 0.6 of a second. And looking at the practice charts, everybody looks to be about 6-7 tenths apart as well. So a very compact field based on speed so far tonight. So if that's any indicator of how this race will go, we are in for a good one.
Drivers taking this opportunity to make mock runs down the pit lane, those ever so crucial. Pit stops will be looking about 30. We heard drivers say in the 30 lap ballpark, so let's say 28 to 32 laps on a tank of Sunoco Racing fuel tires. Feel like we can do okay with tonight, so no concerns there. One of the drivers that, I think week in and week out we'd probably peg to be a guy that can make his way to the front is this driver, the number 93, Ricky J. He's missed a couple starts here to begin the year. But Dewey, he still has that Ricky J speed. What's it going to take for the 93 team to kind of rally their way to the front of the field?
I'm not going to say a little bit of luck, but he doesn't quite have the speed that the 18 and the 5 do tonight. Of course, still has a good car, but I think this race, if you're going to take down the 5 and the 18, I think tonight is going to be one of those where it's going to come down to a fuel strategy call under green to try to undercut one of those two and see if you can hold them off long enough.
Greg in chat with my favorite comment says, I'll split the difference between the 5 and 18, and I'll go with the 11 of Steve Grant.
You know what? Not a bad strategy. That 011 qualified 3rd, so that car is really fast. Definitely not a bad pick by any means. Again, with how close everybody was in practice and qualifying, I don't really think there's a bad pick in this field tonight.
Mm-hmm. And Steve Grant currently sits 3rd in the points.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 in points, qualifying 1, 2, 3. Pretty fitting, I guess. Start off the evening.
Now, we do have drop races here in the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series, so your worst, I believe it's 4 finishes, will be dropped at the end of the year, and that's how we'll decide a champion based on the most points collected. Steve Grant currently 3rd, but I believe 4th if you factor in 1 drop race so far this year. So, again, just something to consider. Ricky J just casually turning that Airheads machine. Now, Airheads, that's a fitting sponsor for Zach Rogers, because, man, he is an Airhead.
That'd be a fitting sponsor for a lot of us.
Are you an Airhead?
Maybe. That or a loudmouth, one of the two.
Yeah, you're definitely a loudmouth.
Self-proclaimed loudmouth.
Cars getting lined up
got-
on the grid as we wait the command to get engines fired here from the Texas Motor Speedway.
17 self-proclaimed racers trying to battle it out to see who wins tonight.
Oh, we've seen them. We know they're racers.
Drivers, start your engines!
As there is the command and engines are fired here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Tyler Mallon going to roll off from the pole position tonight. That number 18 Interstate Batteries Camry. The outside, it'll be the 5 Chevy SS of Zach Rogers. Row 2 is the 011 Pontiac of Steve Grant and the 9 Ford of Ken Hansen. Row 3, the 095 Pontiac of Wiley King and the 22 Chevrolet of Rick Craddock. Row 4 is the 66 Toyota of Terry Scott and the 92 Chevrolet of Joshua Clements. Rounding out your top 10 tonight, a pair of Chevrolets in the Forest Silver Bullet and the 028 of Monty Keller. As Dewey said, 17 cars making up the field tonight. Also, big shout out. Great to see Brain Fade back out on track after missing the last 2 weeks. Good to see you back on track tonight, Brain. Hoping for a good run out of the 49 team this evening.
Absolutely. New look on the 4 car as well. Snazzy throwback there to Sterling Marlin for Silver Bullet tonight. Driving the Silver Bullet.
A new old car for Silver Bullet.
Can hop on the love train to victory.
Dodge Charger pace car makes the hard left turn down the pit lane, gives way to Tyler Mallon, who leads us to the green flag. 117 laps tonight from the Texas Motor Speedway as we are underway in the Lone Star State.
Pretty even launch there for both Rogers and Mallon into turn 1, but the low groove is the preferred one, so you'll see the 18 likely clear here out of turn 2 and hold on to the lead.
Big loser there on the start, Ken Hansen. He has fallen outside of the top 5, doing not the start that this 9 team was looking for.
Yeah, not a great launch on that start at all, but of course we are 1 lap through of 117, so no need to panic right now if you're the 9 or anybody else in this field. Obviously not the start that Ken wanted to have, but still plenty of time to gain that ground back.
Dewey, I'm panicking. I'm
Are
panicking.
Ya?
Lap 1, I'm panicking. It's panic. Constant panic. All panic. Just panic.
Can I offer you a Xanax in these trying times?
Here comes Zach Rogers to the inside. Makes the pass for the lead. It's like Tyler Mallon might have just given it up. Rogers leads lap 2. Joshua Clements, another driver, he is up in the points. After the drop is considered, he would be 3rd in those point standings. So it's 92 team. They continue a strong start to the year in their first full voyage in the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series.
They've had some pretty solid runs to start the year, too. It seems to be a lot of the races, though, he's just had one little mistake at some point that's just set him back just far enough where he can't really recover before the end of the night, but right now running nicely up in that 4th position, so he can try to keep it clean and keep it pointed right in the front or the right direction. So far should be a good run for him. Try to keep up his good momentum to start the year.
See Furco in chat. Hello, Furco.
Noticing as well that the 5 seems to be a couple car lengths away from the rest of the field, and everybody else still kind of compact. And a lot of times we've seen that it's been the 5 car using up his tires way faster than everybody else on the short run. And what ends up happening is Tyler Mallon and that 18 will get by the 5 as the run goes on and pull out to a bigger lead. So I'm not sure if we're going to see that again tonight, but just something to keep in mind that the 18 tends to save those tires while the 5 kind of uses them up a little bit. 18 at least definitely seems to be taking it easy so far, but we will see.
How crucial is that tire save at a track like Texas? Maybe, I mean, compared to Darlington, sure, Darlington eats up the tires for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but at a track like Texas, how crucial is the tire save, especially in the first green flag run of the race?
Obviously not as big of a deal as it is at a track like Darlington that just chews them up like it's nothing, but of course, every track has a certain amount of tire wear, and even if you're a track that has very little tire wear, you still don't want to use them up too much. So if you're that 18, obviously very experienced at tire wear, and tonight should be no different, as he seems to be pacing himself pretty well here so far. Of course, if you're Zach Rogers, maybe you come into this race thinking maybe I want to save some more tire than I usually do, which maybe he's doing now. He doesn't seem to be gapping the 18 any more than he was a few laps ago, so maybe he just wanted to get the lead and then settle down, but we'll see how it'll all shake out come our first pit stops.
Clement's starting to apply some pressure to Malin for second. That 92 looks to the inside here.
It's a good battle that's been brewing here over the last couple of laps. The 18 hasn't really been able to get much separation from those behind him. Doesn't seem to be a problem for him right now, but the 92 definitely has the speed, as does Rick Craddock behind him in the 22.
Well, another big mover here early on in the race is that 22 car. Rick Craddock up a bunch of positions here.
Started, I think, either 6th or 7th, and has already worked his way now up into 4th. Definitely a lot of speed under the hood of that 22. Looks like he was trying to take a peek perhaps to the outside of the 92 that time, but not enough of a run there.
Everyone playing nice. As Zach Rogers leads the way here just over 10 laps in, working lap 12.
They're getting these laps in at a pretty good clip. Leader looks to be running around a 28.3, though Zach clipped the apron that time in the middle of turn 3, and that's going to allow the 18 to capitalize here and potentially get the lead into turn 1.
Just a minor little mistake.
Yeah, I just can't do it too many times, though, especially when you have who you have behind you.
Right.
Tyler is one of the best when it comes to capitalizing on others' mistakes, and if you don't want to lose the lead, you can't do that again. Got a battle behind for third. Clements just scraped the wall there, just barely out of the dog leg, and Rick Craddock will make a move on him here for third out of turn 2, and he will take that spot away. And now here comes Steve Grant to capitalize as well, looking for fourth, and he's bringing his teammate Wiley King with him into turn 3.
So Clements looks to have used up the tires just a little bit. These other drivers taking advantage now of that 92.
Definitely appears that way.
Ooh, they're going to get close there in entry to 1. For the 92, you want to squeeze down in front of this 9 car.
Yeah, there's like the slightest of bottlenecks coming out of the dogleg. It's not very noticeable, but it's enough where if you take the high side through the dogleg a bit too hard, you will definitely notice it and hit the wall, as the 92 did.
And Dewey takes us now radio style. Dewey, it's dead air.
Zach Rogers still leading out of turn 2. I got a bit distracted because they just wrecked big in the duel, but they go into turn 3. Iowa's still about a car length and a half behind the 5. Braddock still in tow in third. Yeah, the 5 definitely looks to be a lot better at saving the tires than he has been in previous mile and a halves. But of course, still a lot of ground to go before we know that for sure.
The cameras have been restored here from Texas. You didn't miss anything here. Yeah, the purple 92 does really stand out. Benjamin.
Yeah, 18 starting to close back in on Rogers now. Just a little bit.
As they start to battle here, Dewey, what do you look for now that we're over halfway into a run? As we got almost a big time moment. It was a big moment for sure. Steve Grant, Wiley King might have made some contact there off of turn number 2. Both those cars went swerving towards the inside wall. They both saved it. We keep rolling green.
Yeah, great save there. That could have been a catastrophic incident for both of them. But thankfully, they both kept it pointed in the right direction and out of harm's way. That definitely spread the field out more than it was before. As the 18 is right on the back bumper now of Zach Rogers. The 5, I think, is starting to lose a little bit of what he had earlier in the run. And the 18 definitely seems to have more left in the tank on these tires than Rogers does.
And again, about 10 laps
probably
away.
Gonna see a pass for the lead pretty soon.
10 laps away from pit stops, too. So that's the other thing to consider right now, Dewey. This 5 car, if he can stay ahead of the 18 all the way to that round of pit stops, it's going to bode well, because so often this year we've seen the 5 car have such strong short run speed, but really fall apart over the course of a long run. If he has comparable speed to the 18 this week, that might be a little bit of a disaster brewing for the 18, as we got another big moment there for Steve Grant off the corner right in front of Ricky J, who continues to try to climb up through the field. This 011 car is not handling well right now off of turn 2, Dewey.
No, it is not. Tyler Mallon's, though, handling very well as we have a pass for the lead. They're out of turn 4, and the 18 back to the point here on lap 23.
Shout out to Tyler waiting for us to show not him.
Yeah.
Make the pass.
Perfect.
Appreciate
Perfect
you,
timing
Tyler.
thought.
Oh, but show a replay then, Joe. Moment has passed.
Oh, got one down on the apron into turn 1. That's Monty Keller sliding back up the hill. And everybody misses him somehow. But I think that's going to bring out our caution
Yes.
here, Joe. That was really close. First yellow of the night here on lap 24. And I'm not really sure what caused this, but thankfully everybody was able to avoid that spinning 028.
Hey, he just got loose. They're exiting the dog leg. Car unloaded for some reason, and around he went.
Weird spot for that to happen, too. Coming out of the dog leg, but looks like he didn't hit the outside wall too hard. That car should be good to go with 4 new Goodyear tires on it.
You big Goodyear guy?
Have to be, right? Racing fan.
I have Goodyears on my car.
I don't actually know off the top of my head what kind of tires I have on my car, but
They're not good in the snow, let me tell you. But
Goodyears are good racing tires, that's all I know.
some would say too good.
Here they come into pit road for the first time tonight. Who will win the race off? Here is everybody on pit road. No takers, or actually no, Steve Grant did stay out in the 011. Everybody else, though, down pit road getting tires and fuel. Looks like it's going to be the 18 winning that race off, with Zach, Rick Craddock, and Wiley King following them out of the pit lane.
As we work this first caution of the night, I'd like to remind you folks at home, we got an action-packed week coming up. Starting off Sunday night, might be the only racing you see Sunday. Hopefully not. Fast Renegade Cup Series action heads to the Daytona International Speedway, coverage kicking off 9 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday night. Then Hobo Racing Cup Series action from Daytona Tuesday, February 20th at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the TMP Winter Series heads to Lee Speedway at 8:55 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, February 21st. Of course, Bomb Squad live next week from Martinsville on Thursday. And then the NSCRA Daytona 500K on Friday. All of those races are going to be live right here only on JTN. Dewey, it's an action-packed week of racing here on the JoeTow Network.
Absolutely it is. A lot of good races here on tap in this upcoming week. A lot of different tracks, a lot of different series, a lot of variety. Be sure to check it all out. And click the bell so you don't miss any of it.
Dewey, you're a pro.
Thank you.
Ask me a question.
How was your day today?
It sucked. Ask me another question.
Oh, man. Well, that ain't very good.
It is what it is.
I have a second question for you, because I don't remember. Who is your favorite Cup Series driver?
It's a good question.
Well, do you have an answer?
I mean, it fluctuates.
Who is it right now at this very second?
Well, because he already raced tonight, it's not Eric Jones, it's Brad Keselowski.
Ah.
Because he's racing right now. But it goes between those two. They're like 1A, 1B, you know?
I got it. Eric looks to be pretty good amongst all the Toyotas last night, but I don't know how they're going to do in the race quite yet.
Thought he looked good in the first duel. Good stories coming out of that first duel. One really funny one, but a lot of good ones.
And an actual legitimate battle for the last spot in the race up to the very end too, which rarely ever happens.
No one thought would happen, right? Like,
yeah. I was shocked that 44 car actually stayed in the draft pretty much the entire race.
mm-hmm.
But
Supposedly it was a Hendrick car.
yeah, it sounds like they did a lot of the prep work to it, but either way, Yaley put up a heck of a battle there at the end. That was
Wasn't
really
even wearing
fun.
his own fire suit. Did you see that?
Yeah, the car, the hauler, the fire suit all had Greg Biffle stuff on it. And then surprise, it's JJ Yaley in the car.
Greg Biffle said, "No, I don't want to run your car."
Pretty much.
Getting ready to go back, green flag racing. Tyler Mallon going to have control here for the restart, coming to lap 29 of 117. Zach Rogers, Rick Craddock, Wiley King, Ken Hansen, your top five. And coming back to green, coming to lap 29 of 117.
Still a ways to go here for tonight. Still about 2, maybe 3 pit stops left on the table. Still a lot that can happen.
A lot, Dewey, a lot.
A lot. With a capital L, lot.
Lot. What? Green flag.
You ever say a word a lot over and over again? Like lot, and the more you say it, the less it sounds like a word, and it just sounds more like gibberish.
Everything you say sounds like gibberish.
Well, being paid to say gibberish sounds like a pretty cool gig.
Welcome to stand-up comedy in the year 2024. Ricky J makes a pass there for 5th, gets around Ken Hansen for the spot. Now going to set his sights on Wiley King for 4th.
Haven't really seen much of that 93 machine tonight. Just been taking it easy here on this first run, but a good opportunity here, fresh off the restart with everybody compacted together again. Try to pick off some of those spots and maybe make a run at our front runners.
Zach Rogers again challenging Tyler Mallon for the lead. Mallon not giving it up easy this time.
No, he is not. Rick Craddock keeping it interesting right behind them, though, right behind these guys in 3rd, and he might try to make a move here on the 5. And Wiley King is up there as well. In fact, like all 7 or 8 of the top 8 are all still within about a second of each other here. So this could get very interesting here very soon. Kind of looks like the field roughly split in half off the restart. We've got about the top 8 or 9 all in one pack, and then everybody else kind of in one a little further back. Battle for 2nd across the line. Rick Craddock going underneath the 5 of Zach Rogers. Trying to make it a 1-2 running order for the green machines here out of turn 2. Rogers, though, got a nice run on the top there out of turn 2, and he's going to block that 22 now into 3 and try to take the lead away from Tyler at the same time. Flip the apron a little bit, but he's going to make it work. Put that 5 car back into the lead.
Zach Rogers back to the point here, lap 34 now of 117.
A heck of a move for him right there, and it worked.
How critical is that to the confidence of the driver of the number 5?
I think it's very critical. Obviously, you have the whole tire debate that we'll, I'm sure, talk about again at some point, but being able to get by the car you know is the best one out on the racetrack has to be a big confidence boost, especially now that he's done it twice. Anytime you can pass somebody that's going that fast, it's got to be a confidence boost for anybody in the field. See if Rick Craddock can maybe do the same here. Had that shot at Rogers just a few laps ago, but that 5 rocketed by them all. Now we're left with a battle for 2nd here out of 4. That looks to be between 3 cars here, with Wiley King just behind the 22.
Field's starting to condense a little bit here around the 5th place position. Tyler Mallon's still leading the freight train as Zach Rogers is kind of broken away from the rest of them.
The whole field is still really close here, as we're about 8 laps removed from the restart. And everybody from like 2nd to 14th is really all under a blanket still, which is very unlike the previous restart where they kind of got spread out fairly quick, but it's a nice change of pace here throughout the entire field. There's a lot of battling going on.
RJ Rusty, Terry Scott, and Eli all battling for this 10th position here. You see Terry Scott going to move to the inside of the 114.
Yeah, solid run for Eli so far tonight. Oh, got a little high there, though, in the middle of the corner, but he keeps it straight and out of the wall.
I think he got a little camera shy, Dewey.
Perhaps. Still plenty of time, though, to undo that. Didn't hit the wall or anything, so it's all good. Wiley King trying to make a move down the back on Rick Craddock. That's for 3rd. Can't quite get the nose underneath him, though.
Everyone trying to... It's so hard to make passes here at Texas, especially with how these guys are all wrapping the white line in both sets of corners.
they kind of get like these mini runs where you have enough to take the nose underneath a guy, but then it stalls out before you can pull side by side and complete the pass into the corner. So it's very difficult to try to time it exactly right, and a lot of these guys might need a little drafting help to pull it off. The run just doesn't really last long enough to complete the entire pass. Already about halfway through the field run. This restart is gone by very quickly here. Not a lot of movement for positions in the last few laps. Everybody seems to be settling in to their own sort of groove here on this run.
It's kind of a important point to make too, settling in, right? Like these guys, they're when you settle in behind the wheel of a race car, it means something a little bit different to every driver, right? Some guys that's just clicking off consistent laps, some guys it's clicking off consistent lines, the other guys it's just getting in the flow of things. Has nothing to do with consistency. It's about just being behind the wheel, hearing the engine, just turn the wheel. So settling in can mean a lot of different things, Dewey. A lot of times for the really good guys, it means that they're, they're running their consistent laps. They're making their marks that they want, and yada yada yada. As Rick Craddock's into the wall there off of turn number 2, is there smoke down the back straightaway? Someone had an issue. Eli slowed now down on pit lane.
Looks like he has a flat right front, Joe.
Wiley King has made the pass for third, but all these drivers just trying to settle in right now.
I think I might have unfortunately laid the commentator jinx there on Eli.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
I mean, he had been doing really well, but of course, as soon as I had to say something, hopefully he can catch a yellow or two and gain that ground back, because that car did look solid earlier in the going. Tyler trying to close in on Rogers here out of 2. Those two starting to pull away just a little bit from Wiley King and Rick Craddock. Still about 15-ish laps away from our fuel run, maybe closer to 10. See if we see any potential strategy when it comes to undercutting or maybe staying out a little bit longer. Maybe that's somebody around where Silver Bullet or Nelly is, around 6th or 7th, to maybe pick up a couple of spots and get closer to that battle at the front.
What do you think about pitting early?
It's a heck of a risk, especially where this caution lined up that we had back on lap whatever it was. As it stands right now, as Magoo slaps the wall there out of turn 2, he'll keep it high and out of harm's way. But at this next window, we're going to have stops, I think, around lap 58 or so. And if you pit twice after that, you're like right on the money of being able to make it those last few laps or being short those last few laps. So we'll probably have another round of stops somewhere between lap 85 and lap 90, and we might have some fuel saving by that point. This could set us up for a very interesting fuel battle at the very end of this race.
An interesting fuel battle.
So I think given that, I don't think you're going to see much of undercutting, but I do think you're going to have a lot of guys trying to stretch it out as much as they can to avoid having to save later on. I think if that caution had come out a couple of laps later than it did, you might see some undercutting, but I think if you undercut here, you're running the risk of not making it on one more stop after this upcoming one.
Comes Tyler Mallon for the lead to the inside of Zach Rogers into turns 1 and 2. They'll be side by side battling for that position off of the second corner. Down the back straightaway, the 18 will take the top spot. So Tyler Mallon back to the point. Tyler going for his 5th win of the year. In 7 races, it's been a dominant start to the year. Voiles Trucking cars have won the other 2 races, with Brian Voiles taking home the Daytona victory and Ricky J taking home another.
Did you expect anything different out of that 18?
No. Can't say that I did.
I mean, Zach has put up a very good effort here tonight. I think he's still led more laps than Tyler has up to this point, as both of them starting to pull away a little bit more from the 095 and the 22, who both are having really great nights, but they just seem to be a little bit short of that speed that they need to keep up with our top 2.
How frustrating can that be?
I mean, I'm not going to say they're used to it, but I'm sure it's not the first time this has happened either, where a guy like Rick, who we know is always going to be fast whenever he shows up, just like Wiley King, and it's just, you can tell that they're really fast right now. Mm-hmm. They've both been in the top 5 all night. But you still see how much they've fallen behind the 18 and the 5, and it's like, man, I wish I just had something for them every week. Just that little bit more that I can never seem to find that would be the difference.
And it's so frustrating because it's like you don't know what that thing is, right?
Exactly. Of course, you never know if it's something, you know, maybe that would have been changed in the setup before race time, or maybe an in-race adjustment, but obviously if you consider that, you run the risk of making your car worse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a risk when you go to make a big adjustment like that. I think Zach just brushed the wall there? Just barely?
Can't tell.
Very close, but I think at some point, though, I have full confidence that at some point this season, either the 095 or the 22 or somebody else in this field, they will figure something out that will put them on the same level as these top 2 are. Got a long season ahead of us, and I think at some point, something will crack. Looks like the green flag window for pit stops is opening up here. RJ Rusty in the 2, going to make his way down onto pit road.
First driver down pit lane.
We'll see how much longer our guys up at the front elect to keep themselves out there.
They've
But
gone
pitting
about
here
30
on lap
laps.
57, 30 laps a run that puts you right on the edge of making it. So pretty close on fuel here. And here comes Tyler, or just hit the apron. Oh, he hit the apron. Got me a little confused.
I was like, am I not live or something on our video feed? I'm missing something?
Thought we were in turn 3 for a second and he hit the apron, so I thought they were pitting. No, they were not. Okay, now they're both pitting for real. The 18 and the 5 both come down onto pit road. Nelly and the 103 will join them. Wiley King stays out and will inherit the lead here on lap 61, just past halfway here in the race. And here comes Wiley King and Rick Craddock. Ricky J will stay out.
Oh, Wiley King, he's in the grass, Dewey!
Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, when he noses it into the inside wall. Hopefully that didn't damage the car too much, but regardless, it is going to cost him some valuable time there. That will give Ricky J the lead for the meantime. Him and Ken Hansen yet to come down pit road. And now they both will.
But Tyler Mellon has built up a lead here. Over Zach Rogers.
Have to see where everybody will shuffle out. Didn't really see much by way of overcutting, or I mean undercutting or staying out too much longer on that cycle.
Yeah, Ricky J now just leaving the pit lane, gonna merge right in front of traffic. That was risky.
Close call there.
I think he probably owes Terry Scott a pair of underwear.
Might need one himself. Looks like Tyler will cycle out the leader. Interestingly enough, though, looks like Nelly in the 103, by pitting with the top two, has cycled into third.
Love to
And
see it.
Terry Scott has jumped up to fourth here.
So pitting early did work.
Definitely looks to be the call to make there, as I think Nelly was running around 7th and Terry, I think, around 10th or so. And now both of them 3rd and 4th after that round of pit stops. So new faces here up towards the front that we hadn't really seen up here yet. See if they have anything for our top two.
Zach Rogers once again closing in on Tyler Mellon. Nelly also getting into the fray here at the front in the 103.
Yeah, Nelly took about a second or so out of the gap between him and those top two on that lap alone. And just like that, a three-way battle for the lead here on lap 68. Two cars that have run up there all night, one guy that pit with them and cycled his way up there. So interesting set of storylines here as this race progresses onward. Just under 50 laps to go here at Texas. Only one yellow so far, but a very quick race up to this point. And it's been the Tyler and Zach show, as it has so many times here to start this season.
Rogers down to the inside looking for the lead here off of turn number 4. He'll take it. Move that Airheads Chevrolet back to the point, working lap 69.
Tyler seems to yield that spot pretty easily. Didn't really put up a fight with that 5 whatsoever. Maybe Tyler sensed that Zach was trying to get himself up to the lead, and maybe he's using up his tires more, as he mentioned earlier, and just kind of let him go for now.
If there's no point in like racing them hard, don't do it, right? I mean, it's simple as that.
That, and there's such a long way to go in this race still. And I think Tyler might be doing the same thing to Nelly here in the 103. Is Nelly up into P2?
Dewey, could Tyler be trying to save some fuel on this run, and then maybe save some fuel on the last run to make it just on one more stop?
I think that might be the move here, Joe. But I still think that those cars that just passed him might be good up to the end without saving and without having to pit 2 more times. So I'm not really sure exactly how it's going to shake out, but I think if you're going about 30 laps a cycle, and they pit around lap 88, 89, they should be good just barely from there. Maybe Tyler just playing it a little safe just in case, but either way, maybe he's just saving tires more than he is fuel, and he's just going to let these guys battle it out and waste their own stuff. Interesting development either way, though. Don't usually see Tyler just yield a spot that easily. Back will get around the 68 there of Brian Voiles, our winner from the season opening race at Daytona. Swept that weekend, in fact, after winning the trucks there as well. And that'll put him a lap down to the leaders.
They've kind of been trying to recapture some of that early season magic as the 68 team. Haven't been able to do it so far, so be a driver to watch here. Welcome in, Kathy. Sorry if I missed you when you came in. Ricky J has clawed his way back up into 4th in this 93 car.
Quietly solid night so far.
Clement's now up into the top 5, gets around Terry Scott for the position.
Yeah, right. Terry had cycled out in 4th behind the 103 of Nelly, but doesn't seem like that 66 has quite the amount of speed that those top 3 do. Still a solid run, though, in 6th either way, but maybe just doesn't quite have what he needs to keep himself up there in contention.
And Dewey, that's okay. You know, this 66 team, they're just trying to build good starts here, or good finishes here at the start of the year. So, you know, 6th place, it's a good finish.
Nothing wrong with 6th at all.
17-car field, finish in the top half of it. That should be every driver's goal going into every race, right?
It's a good
at a
benchmark
minimum
to have. Sure, though, if you're the 5 and the 18, the goal is to win every week.
Yeah, but those guys are, excuse the pun, but a bit of a pair of airheads, you know?
Yeah. Nelly, though, this is one heck of a run for him so far. Be interesting to see if he can keep this up after our next round of pit stops. Maybe make this a 3-horse race for the rest of the night.
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
It'd make it interesting.
You're a big horse guy, aren't you?
Am I now?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Never really been big into horses like that.
Oh. Why not?
Never ridden one or anything like that.
Dewey Schramm, not a big horse guy. Heard it here first, folks.
I think Nelly might be losing the tire saving race here. Starting to fall just a little bit back of these top two, but when those cars are all souped up, fresh on a run, he has the speed he needs to contend. So if this thing ends up being a very short sprint to the end, that 103 definitely is going to be one to watch.
Are you watching him?
I am definitely watching him. Both of my eyes are on him right now. They are peeled back at the 103 machine.
Your eyes are peeling?
No, not quite.
Dewey, that's kind of gross.
They are focused on that car.
Dewey, you scare me.
Why is
Tyler
that?
Mallon, back to the point.
Why do I scare you, Joe?
I don't know, you just do.
Well, you can't just say that and not explain it.
I just did.
Unbelievable.
It's believable, it just happened.
This is unreal.
It's definitely real, too.
Well then. What else is real is our upcoming slate of races here on JTN. And Joe, what would those consist of?
Wow. Dewey, I'm glad you asked. And this is, of course, presented by our favorite paint scheme resource, SchemeHaven.com. Fast Renegade Cup Series action heads to Daytona Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Then Hobo Racing Cup Series actions at, you guessed it, Daytona, Tuesday, February 20th at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the TMP Winter Series, we go short track racing from the Lead Speedway, cover tracking off 8:55 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, February 21st. All of those races, they're all going to be live right here only on JTN. Only on JTN, Dewey. Don't you forget
Nowhere else in the world but here.
Nope, nowhere else but here.
A JTN exclusive.
Exclusively on JTN.
We have an exclusive battle here in turns 1 and 2. Joshua Clements just about door banged the 95 of Wiley King, I'm sure accidentally there, going into turn 1. And the 92 was the big loser of that exchange, dropping a spot to both Wiley and the 9 of Ken Hansen. So close call for sure between those two, as the 92 is actually going to peel off and pit here. So it looks like he'll be our first taker here on what could be the final stop of the night.
You can make it from here. Everyone should be able to make it from here.
Yeah, so the 92 looks to be then undercutting the first of our lead lap cars to make it onto pit road, but it worked for some, didn't quite work for others. It was Nelly was the big winner of that move the last time. We'll see if anybody can benefit from it this time. Oh, Tyler just drifted it out of turn 2, and he's going to lose the lead here to Zach.
Womp womp.
What a job he did to save that race car. That thing was dead sideways coming out of turn 2.
Hello, Jason. Thanks for tuning in.
One of the most impressive saves of the year right there by that 18 machine. And definitely start to feel the effects of those old worn tires. I would expect that when these two come down pit road, it will be in unison, as we saw on the last run. But now coming to complete lap 89, they should be good on fuel whenever they come down now for the rest of the race. Steve Grant coming out in the 011, he's completed his last stop of the race. Everybody else yet to pit. So we'll see how much longer these guys decide to stay out.
We'll continue to watch our leaders with less than 30 laps to go here from the Texas Motor Speedway. It's still Tyler Mellon out in front of the field. Zach Rogers in second. Nelly right now rides there in third. The big gap back to fourth place, Ricky J. Fifth and sixth, Rick Craddock and Ken Hansen.
Yeah, Nelly definitely started to fade back from those top two, but still a net gain, of course, for that 103. Having been running around 7th before the last round of stops, and now finds himself 3rd. We'll see if maybe once this last round of stops is complete, if he can maybe try to gain that ground up on these top two as he did on the last run. Silver Bullet coming off of pit road here in the 4 machine. Wiley King coming down pit road, Nelly on pit road as well.
Nyum nyum.
Nyum nyum.
Indeed. Oh boy, pit stops.
There we go. Our leaders coming in once again together here. Zach really sent it in that time, pulls even with the 18. So he might have just gained a little bit of ground there without speeding, and if his pit crew can really nail a stop down, that 5 might be able to cycle ahead to the lead here.
Wiley King down and away from his box. Tyler Mellon running over helpless crew members of the 5 team.
Rick Craddock coming in right behind them in the 22 for his last stop of the night. Hitting, I believe, from 5th.
Nelly staying out a lap longer than these leaders.
Oh! Ken Hansen just almost speared the inside wall coming to pit road.
And Zach Rogers wins the race off pit road, Dewey. He's got the clean air.
Yeah, that little bit of ground he gained by braking a little later turned out to be a difference maker. As for now, that 5 is going to cycle out to the lead, but Tyler just going to run off the apron down the backstretch, so he might get the lead right back into 3.
They look to the outside down into turn 3. Not going to get there just yet. Don't look now. Joshua Clemens, big gain there on the pit lane in this number 92 car. He is within striking distance of our 2 leaders. However, Dewey, I'd have to think that this 92 is going to fade here. Ricky J off pit lane.
Yeah, that 92 pit about 8 laps ago, so that's already 8 lap older tires that 92 has than those 2 cars that are ahead of him.
Caution.
So I don't think...
We have a caution.
Well, then.
Terry Scott around on the front straightaway.
Brain fade into the outside wall as well. Just past the start-finish line.
Oh,
now,
no.
This is an interesting development here.
Get a replay of it. Terry Scott getting loose through the corner. Maybe some contact getting across the nose of Monty Keller, then still trying to save it. Silver Bullet drives into the side of him.
Big hit to the outside wall with him and Brain Fade. I think Terry recognized that they were 3 wide and tried to give the 49 a bit more room and ended up losing the car when he did that. And a lot of damage to the rear end of that 66 machine. And an interesting predicament arises now for some of these guys that were pitting. Now, if you're Joshua Clements, you have a chance here to maybe pit when nobody else might and get on the same ground. But at the same time, it looks like a lot of people are going to come down pit road, so this is a huge break for Clements and Ricky J, as now they're all going to be together on the same tires. What a break this turned out to be for that 92, who we thought was going to fade back on those older tires, having pit so early. This just made things a whole lot more interesting.
As Dewey said, everyone coming down the pit lane.
Ricky J just take 2 tires?
I think he did.
Well, he's going to win the race off pit road, and
Remember,
he's going to lead us to the restart.
he just came off of pit lane. Same thing with the 9.
Well, the 9 had a little bit of damage, too. When he came down pit road, he got a little loose, and he got the left side of his car into the inside wall and came about a foot away from spearing himself. Thankfully, he didn't do that. But Ken Hansen, regardless, is a big winner of this caution, as he's going to line up 3rd for this restart. Now, obviously, I think the 18 and the 5 can still be considered the favorites, but now we have a circumstance where everybody is going to have about 18 laps to go on the same set of tires. All of a sudden, the 18 and the 5 are going to have some stiff competition on this restart.
Oh, man. Are you ready for this?
I am ready for this.
Less than 20 laps to go here when we get back to green flag racing. Oh, boy.
Oh boy is right.
Oh, man. Oh, my.
Oh my.
Oh, me, oh, my, oh, me, oh, my.
Well, well, well.
Well, well, well.
Gonna have 19 to go. Ricky J leading us to the green. Who's gonna come out on top?
I think one of these drivers will.
The easy answer, yeah.
Back it away. Don't ask a stupid question, Jerry. Come on. You'll get a stupid answer.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
18 laps to go when we get the green flag, so just over half of a fuel run here. Roger's already looking to the inside of Ken Hansen. He's trying to take away the 3rd spot. You're at this weird... You're at a weird spot, Dewey, where do you save the tires or do you just go for it here?
I think specifically if you're Zach Rogers, you do just enough to keep up with the 18. I don't even think you're worried about Ricky J right now. If I'm Zach, I'm just keeping up with Tyler Mallon and worrying about no one else. I think if you're Ricky J, you might go a little aggressive and try to build up as much of a gap as you can. I think if you're Ken, you just try to make up as many spots as you can. And really anybody behind him, I think, is in the same boat.
Oh, contact!
Zach got the back of the 18. He saved it, and that's going to cost
He wanted
Zach some
to dump
valuable
him,
track
Dewey!
position. He's trying to cut down on Nelly to minimize the damage. That's going to allow the 92 to move up top and try to take that spot away.
Dewey, he should have just dumped him.
Oh,
He should have.
man.
He should have. We're going to
Would've
get a
benefited
comment.
him way more to do that.
We're going to get a comment on the live stream from Zach. I already know it. He'll tag the time. He'll be like, I didn't want to dump him. Nah, Zach, you should have dumped him.
Would have made the race more interesting. Maybe. Now,
Well, Ricky
I'm not
J's
gonna
still out in
advocate-
front.
Now, I'm not going to sit up here in the booth and advocate for people to wreck the dog food out of each other, but it throws a wrench in things, for sure. Not going to sugarcoat
Makes
it.
things fun.
Yeah.
Makes them interesting. Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, jeez, he really threw it in under Ken Hansen there into one. Really forced
Oh,
his nose
Nelly's
in there.
in the
Nelly's
wall.
big into the wall, as is Wiley. Oh, man.
Caution, gonna be out for the third time tonight. No, oh, shoot.
Oh, no, and he gets hit again. Oh.
Oh, no, no, no.
What was looking to be a great run for Nelly all of a sudden has gone very bad very quickly.
You see Craddock just runs into him.
And I think Wiley maybe got loose trying to
Avoid it.
avoid him. And then Magoo here at the very end, I don't know. Oh! I think Wiley might have gotten bumper grabbed off the 4 right as that spin had occurred. And it just sent him up the hill.
Oh, no, no, no.
Either way, a terrible break for Nelly, and he hit the wall really hard initially. He can really wad him up here in Texas. Old version or new version, Texas can really pile him up if you try hard enough and get some big hits, and unfortunately Nelly knows that all too well now. Everybody coming down pit road except for Rick Craddock.
Well, Rick's gonna have to take a... I think he's gonna have to take an EOLL, Dewey.
Or, maybe. I mean, it's a tough break for Rick, too. Obviously, not meaning to get into the 103 like that, but of course, with that EOL, going to take him out of the running for the win, just like the 103. See who the first one off of pit road is, and it's going to be Ken Hansen this time in the 9 car. Joshua Clements in the 92, second. Silver Bullet, third. Tyler leapfrogs Ricky J. But now the 18 is going to line up 4th with, I think, 10 to go. Interesting.
Interessante.
So Ricky J came in the leader, and he's going to restart 6th, so not great for the 93 team.
Not awful, though. It'd be much worse.
Definitely. I'm inclined to believe that the top 3 all took 2, which, despite Tyler being in 4th, will give him a likely tire advantage on the restart. Either way, though, passing the top 3 cars in 8 laps, no easy task.
We just don't wreck.
And don't wreck.
No, no, no. So we'll go back with, looks like about 10 laps to go. It's gonna make things fun. Make them interesting. Most importantly, Dewey, it's gonna make them frantic here at the end of this race.
I thought you were going to say fun, but frantic works too.
I mean, it's gonna be fun, but that anything here on JTN's fun. You know, we always have fun.
That is for sure.
Dewey's like, I'm not having fun, but okay, I'll go along with it.
It's fun. We're having fun.
Yes.
Got to get Christopher Bell as a guest on Fake Racers and just play that clip incessantly throughout the entire time.
We're big enough to get race car drivers on the Fake Racers podcast. That'll be a day.
That would be contradicting, because then you'd be getting real drivers on the Fake Racers show.
That's a good point. So Brian Voil's staying out here in the 68. He'll lead us back to green. Ken Hansen in second. Joshua Clements, Silver Bullet. Then it's Tyler Mallon on 4 tires, Zach Rogers, Ricky J, RJ Rusty, Monty Keller, Terry Scott, Wiley King, Brain Fade, Nelly with the damaged race car, Magoo, Steve Grant, and Rick Craddock.
Admittingly, I didn't realize that Brian Voiles was on the lead lap.
Kind of a jerk, aren't you?
Unbelievable.
What?
So that'll put Tyler back to 5th instead of being 4th.
I mean, Dewey, come on, read the room.
I'm reading it now. I got my glasses on.
Oh, you got your glasses on now. You read the time and scoring?
I'm behind those Foster Grants.
Do you have glasses, Dewey?
I do not.
Ah, lucky you.
What I do have is an eye for the restart. Hope you do too.
That was awful. Getting ready to go back green. 10 laps to go. Brian Voiles with control. Green flag. We're back underway.
Oh no, Silver Bullet spun out! No! He spun the tires into the grass on the restart, and after restarting 3rd on that 2-tire call... Oh no.
Voiles leading the way. He's loose off the corner.
Oh my gosh!
Oh no!
Oh, it comes back up the track and everybody wrecks! They're all piling up into turn 3! Caution's back out! Tyler's in it! A lot of cars are in it. Brain Fade's around, they're still wrecking. The 92 is spinning all over the place. And you know what? Maybe it was a good thing that the 4-car did that.
Dewey, what did we just see?
I don't know. What I do know is that Silver Bullet would have been in the middle of that wreck had he not spun out, so... Perhaps it was a good thing that happened to him, who knows. I think the 68 just, like, lost it out of turn 2, and when he did, he overcorrected and went back up into the field.
Yeah, I mean, they were 3 wide, right? It's just...
They were.
Oh, man.
Nowhere for Ken Hansen to go, nowhere for Tyler to go. Clements had nowhere to go. Zach did a nice job of missing that. Just got a tiny bit of damage, I think.
Go on board with the ally machine of Joshua Clements.
And he got clobbered in this by Terry Scott.
And one more. There you go.
Yeah, got hit by Terry Scott, and then the 49 of Brain Fade got into him as well. This race is really turned upside down, huh?
A little bit.
So Ken Hansen stayed out despite getting a little bit of damage in the wreck.
Well, you have
Ricky
to.
J, P2. RJ Rusty is now 3rd. Monty Keller's 4th. Rogers 5th. Perry, Nelly, Wiley King, who I think rode the wall to miss that wreck, sits 8th. And Steve Grant and Rick Craddock. So it was a dominating race for the 5 and the 18, but I think at this point the 18's out of it.
Kathy, I don't... did Dolly get back by Brian? With the virtual pedals? Oh, man.
What a wreck.
What a wreck. That shakes
Tough
things
break,
up.
though, for a lot of guys.
Do you want to play some Scrabble?
I have not played Scrabble in a hot minute.
How does it work?
I can't tell if you're being serious.
I am. I honestly haven't played it. I played it like 2 times maybe.
So, the numbers that are on each
Are the points,
letter tile,
right? And then
those count for points. So you play a word down, you add up how many points it is. Obviously, you can only play real words. You can't just make them up. If you get a double or a triple letter score, it doubles or triples the amount of points that the tile on it is worth. So if you get a K that's worth 8 points, it doubles to 16. If you get a double or a triple word score, you count up all of the point values, and you triple the whole thing. And if you play all 7 tiles at the same time, you get a 50-point bonus. And so at the end, it's just whoever has the most points after playing all your words. A cool little game. In fact, I used to go to my local library and play it there every Thursday. A good little time. Something that interests you? I guess we'll never know.
Nope, never know.
We'll never ever know. Cool thing too is if you get a double or a triple and it creates multiple new words, it triples both of them. So it's possible to get like a 100 or 150 point turn if you luck out. And it's pretty cool. What else is pretty cool is this upcoming restart, as we're going to have 5 to go at the stripe. Ken Hansen's going to lead us back to the green. Ricky J is going to be second. RJ Rusty, looking for his best finish of the season, is going to restart third. Monty Keller and Zach Rogers round out the top 5. And Tyler Mallon on this restart finds himself back in 12th. Now, I don't know if Tyler's going to pass 11 cars in 5 laps, but I don't think he's going to finish 12th either.
Yeah, we're going to watch this battle for the lead because I think it's going to be fun, but watch that bright green 18 car and see how far up into the field he can get. Also, watch the 5 Zach Rogers. See what he can do if he can get back up onto the podium. Here, again, only 5 laps to go when we get back going here on the restart. Ken Hansen will have control. Ricky J, RJ Rusty, Monty Keller, and Zach Rogers, your top 5. We only talked to 3 after the race, Dewey. We only talked to 3.
We got to find a way to have like a split camera view. We can have multiple camera angles up on the screen at the same time.
Yeah, Chris knows how to do that, but you have to have multiple computers to do that.
Maybe someday.
All right, getting ready to go back green. Ken Hansen with control. And away we go. Green flag, 5 laps to go here for the Texas Motor Speedway.
Look at the launch that Zach Rogers just got.
3 wide for third.
Trying to go from 5th to 3rd in one turn. It's really close. Monty Keller goes way up the hill. RJ Rusty goes a little bit up the hill as well. They're going to be 3 wide out of turn 2, and they're going to clog up, or they're going to wreck again. Wiley King's up into the outside
They're not.
wall.
Oh, no!
Tyler Mallon spins into turn 3. He's going to come back up the hill, and he's going to get hit by Brain.
This is going to be the race for the win, Dewey. Off of turn number 4. There's some contact. Ricky J to the outside. It's going to be Ken Hansen.
And Ricky J's around, and he gets hit harder to the outside wall. They are wrecking everywhere into turn 1. Zach's in it. RJ Rusty's in it. Craddock is wrecked. Oh my gosh, they are wadding them up here into turn 1. Oh man.
Dewey, there
And I
was
believe
too much
out of
going
all
on.
of that, Ken Hansen's going to be the winner.
There was too much going on there in those last few laps. My goodness.
That was a lot to digest. I think maybe somebody didn't realize the caution was out and just flew in there, but the 93 is junked on the front end, and I think he might be scored second anyway. Gonna get a raced version diecast of that thing. I think everybody right now is trying to regain the positions they were in at the line. So we're gonna end up with some junked race cars finishing really well tonight. Either way, it looks like Ken Hansen will be your winner here at Texas. What happened?
That's a good summary. Dewey, I don't think so. Ricky J's got a run. I don't know if it's enough of a run here off of turn 4. Hansen comes up the track a little bit. They make contact. Ricky J's just keeping his foot in it. Goes around. And then, as you said, I mean, Dewey, that's the thing. They're racing back to the line, so it's like, okay, you get to the line, you can't just slam on the brakes, right?
Exactly. I mean, Zach Rogers did a great job of slowing down to avoid Ricky J, but then RJ Rusty and Silver Bullet are coming ahead with a full head of steam and just had nowhere to go. And that was a huge hit by the two into the 93, and it pretty much collected everybody behind those guys.
We go on board with Zach Rogers here off turn 4 there. You see the contact. As you said, as Dewey said, does a good job of backing down, and then here we go.
Oh, man.
Calamity.
You gotta get a look at the initial incident as well.
Yeah, we did. I mean,
Tyler.
Bumper grab, right? Like,
yeah, I think he got bumper grabbed off the 28 of Monty Keller and ended up spinning right up into brain fade. So between both of those, I think about 80% of the field was involved in a wreck there on that lap.
yeah.
So I was right about Tyler Mallon not finishing 12th. It's actually going to be 14th.
That might be his drop race for the year.
Yeah. Of course, being spinning into turn 3 just obviously had no way to pass the guys that ended up wrecking ahead of him. So out of all of that, RJ Rusty is going to end up, I think, with his first top 5 of the season. Despite...
Ricky J is actively blowing up. I think...
Who is?
Ricky J. I mean, he's blowing up. I think Ken Hansen has a left front tire down.
Oh, jeez. Well, hopefully the engine on that 93 lasts for another lap and a half.
Just keep it running.
Very unfortunate if it didn't.
Just keep it running, Ricky. Just keep it running.
But Zach Rogers, out of all that, gets third. Rick Craddock, I mean, very up and down night. Fourth place, though, pretty good for him. And again, RJ Rusty, again, first top 5 of the year. Great run in the end for him. What a weird race this turned out to be.
Off of turn number 4, again, they're under caution, but they will also get the white flag. It'll be 1 lap to go. Presented by Death Craver. Death Craver, new novel out now on Amazon by Zach Rogers. Implore you to go check it out. Great story about a dystopian future and one driver's quest to win it all. Death Craver. Now available on Amazon. That's Craver with a K. Death Craver by Zach Rogers. Available on Amazon.
Not very often you get an author in the field.
And we get it every week.
Yeah. Well, for us it's pretty often, but maybe not for everyone else. Or for every other league running around right now. But that author also turns out to be a pretty solid sim racer.
A little bit.
That 5 machine will round out tonight's podium. So it was a very clean and very quick first half of the race. And then things got really weird. Looks like Ricky J's engine is going to hold on just long enough to brawl to the finish. But we will make our way out of turn 4 for the final time, albeit under caution. And when all the smoke, all the debris, and all the dust settles, it is going to be Ken Hansen picking up win number 1 here on the 2024 Bomb Squad Cup Series season, and it's going to come here in the Lone Star State of Texas. I think most of these cars are ready for the junkyard, but good race nonetheless.
So Ken Hansen, your race winner here tonight from Texas. We'll talk with him as well as Ricky J. Zach Rogers, our top 3 finishers here tonight. Folks, we encourage you to stick around for those interviews. Make sure, though, if you haven't already, leave a like on the video, and make sure you are subscribed. Click the bell icon so that way you are notified anytime we go live.
Oh, they're wrecking after the race. Tyler just got in the back of Ricky J.
What a jerk.
Him and Silver Bullet went around there in turn 2.
But Ken Hansen brings it around, those Coors colors made famous by Bill Elliott. He'll burn it down for the fans here at the Texas Motor Speedway. So Ken Hansen with the victory here tonight. Yes, Tyler, that was indeed a disastrous last 10 laps.
Boy, was it.
We'll get our post-race results on your screens here in mere moments, folks. But first, let's get a word with our friends from AutoSim 2. Have you ever wanted to manage your own racing team? Or what if you could go back in time to see if a particular season could have finished differently? Well, folks, have no fear, because AutoSim 2 is here. With fully customizable roster files, you can create your own world or try to recreate the past. Heck, you could even try to predict the future through AutoSim 2's Sim Mode. Don't like the passive approach? Well, then get more hands-on in Owner Mode, where you decide who drives your cars and what companies will sponsor them. Down on your luck? Well, then scout some new talent that will get you to the top. Already super successful? Try moving up the ladder or expanding to truly solidify your racing empire. However you want to play, AutoSim 2 has you covered and is now available for purchase through the Steam store for $9.99. Now go make your mark and build your legacy in AutoSim 2. Again, folks, AutoSim 2 is now available on Amazon, or on Steam. My apologies. AutoSim 2 now available on Steam for $9.99. I wish it was on Amazon. That'd be pretty cool. Again, still working on getting those results for you folks at home, but let's go ahead, take a chance to talk with the driver of the number 9, your race winner here tonight down in Victory Lane. Driver of the number 9, Ken Hansen. Ken, you got a copy?
I got you guys.
Hey man, how the heck did you win that race?
2 tires and a lot of luck. That's for sure. It wasn't the fastest car out there, as you can see, I'm sure.
How much though? You say a little bit of luck, and I know obviously the late race restart. There's a caution there at the end, but how tough was it battling there with Ricky J? Because you were door to door there through turns 3 and 4, really close. Maybe some contact off the final corner. How much fun is that, and how tough is battling like that at a track like Texas?
Oh man, when he hit me, I just about lost it myself there. But it was tough. I seen him coming. I was like, oh man, throw the block in the back, throw the block in the back. That's all I had. And he still went up high there. And the caution came out. I knew it was going to be a race to the line. And I don't know if I would have got him. He was getting a good run up top.
How frantic does it get in that when that yellow flag flies and knowing that you're racing back to the checkered flag? It's a caution flag, but you're racing back to the checkered flag. How frantic does that get between the ears and behind the wheel?
Oh, like a 10.
Obviously, first win on the year for you here. What do you take away from this race, and what are the next steps for you in this 9 team moving forward?
Really, I just came in to hopefully get like top 5s, top 10s, and I'll take a win when I can get one. That's for sure.
Heck yeah. Well,
It
Ken,
seemed like a lot of people were having, some bad luck and whatnot. And I don't know. I couldn't believe 2 tires worked, but it did.
it worked. You get the win here tonight, Ken. Congratulations on that down in victory lane. Before that, you go, want to give you the opportunity. You got great partners on the car. I'm sure you got a lot of great folks to shout out back home. Floor is yours. You know what to do.
All right. Well, I just want to give a shout out to Bomb Squad Racing for allowing me to race here. Obviously, all the competitors here. It's been a fun group to race with. And what you guys do here, awesome.
Well, Ken, again, congratulations on the win here tonight, man. So good to see you back in victory lane in this 9 car. As always, it's a pleasure talking with you. And again, hope we're talking with you soon, and can't thank you enough for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Ken Hansen, driver of the number 9, your race winner here tonight from Texas. Let's go ahead and next bring in our 3rd place finisher. He's the driver of the number 5, Zach Rogers. Zach, you got a copy?
I do.
All right, 3rd place finish. The 18 has a bad night, but you don't get the win that I think you and this team feel like you deserved. What happened there at the end of the race?
Texas happened. If you go back to 2021 in the fall, we had a car that should have won this race, and then we had a late race caution. People took 2 tires or no tires, and then on that particular race, I got bodied by 2 people on the last lap, and I didn't even get a top 3 after having been in the lead prior to that yellow. This was a little different, but the track record shows here that we're going to have speed when we come here, but something is typically going to happen that shakes up the dynamic of the race towards the end, and then it's a free-for-all, and I'm terrible with free-for-alls. I have terrible luck with free-for-alls. We benefited a little bit, though, when we had to get by the crash that happened right in front of us. We smoked the right front, and I felt it right when I went into turn 3 there before the race-ending yellow. We were not going to have any grip going through the corner, so if that caution doesn't come out right there, we're probably finishing 8th or something. So,
Well, you get the 3rd place finish. What does it mean point standings wise? Of course, we talked about Tyler, bad run here tonight with all the late race drama there. He gets caught up in that last caution as well. What does this do to kind of help you reel back in the 18? Obviously, drop races are a thing, but it's still got to help, right?
that's the beauty of it, right, Joe? So like you said, like we didn't get the win, which sucks. Like it actually sucks, Joe. I cannot phrase it to you anymore. It sucked.
Thank you.
To not get this win. Okay, are we points across now? All right, cool. But yeah, for Tyler to have the misfortune he had, which I saw the replay and he did it to himself. It helps a lot because even though it'll go down as a drop week, it goes down as his first drop week. We are still top 5 perfect so far. So we have not had to use one yet. I'm sure we will have to eventually, but it's nice to see Tyler have to use one before we do.
Well, Zach, again, another strong run here tonight. You lead 54 laps. You get the 3rd place finish. Before we let you go, though, I want to give you the opportunity. As always, great partners on the car, great folks to shout out, great things to shout out. Floor is yours. You know what to do.
That was another good thing. We led the most laps tonight. That was one thing I wanted to do. If it came down to me and Tyler going for the win, is I wanted to lead the most laps because I know he's been trying to lead the most laps every week, and I'm glad we got one on him tonight. So, got to thank Airheads for the debut tonight. I think it's a pretty great scream, wouldn't you say? I got to shout out Cody Lamas for the scheme. All the schemes this year that we're running are by Cody Lamas. So Cody's a good painter. He's a good dude. DuPont, which we'll have back on the car for Martinsville next week. Should be fun at Martinsville next week. It's a different package from the fall, so I'm not sure how we'll do compared to back then, but I know there will be it's a softer tire, so we'll have more fall off. We'll get a little more slidey, so that should be an interesting race. I'm just looking forward to having fun next week, honestly. I'm not too concerned about well, I want to do good, but I'm not too concerned about what the result might be. Kellogg's and Bass Pro Shops. We got Bass Pro Shops coming up here soon. Look out for our good old orange scheme. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I just need to go back to running the Bass Pro Shop scheme because that's the only scheme we've won in since I came back to Bomb Squad here. I got to shout out our other sponsors, of course, in Trucks and Xfinity. Estes Antioxidant Brew, and Rockwell in trucks, and then Lowe's and Corsair in Xfinity. Got to thank everyone here at Bomb Squad Racing. Without all these great drivers, we wouldn't have this league. Got to thank Magoo, of course, for putting the league together. Brian and Kathy Voiles for their sponsorship of you so that you can do the broadcast. And, of course, our partnership for my book, Death Craver. Check it out on Amazon for the One to Go partnership. Got to shout out fellow Mass native Dewey. Happy to see Dewey again on the booth. Looking forward to going back on the stream and correcting him on something that he gets wrong. And of course, I got to thank Tyler. Great racing with him tonight. Ton of respect between us. There were some sketchy moments, and we worked that out during the yellows, so all is good. And there were sketchy moments with some other guys too. Happy we were able to keep it clean, and we didn't wreck.
Yep.
We came close, like, I think 3 times, but we
pretty
didn't wreck.
close. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the ee-oh-ah from you, Joe, when I watch the stream back as well. So yeah.
Well, looking forward to it, Zach. Again, man, congratulations on a strong run once again here tonight. 3rd place finish from Texas, most laps led. As always, it's a pleasure talking with you. Know we're going to be talking with you more throughout the year. And again, can't thank you enough for your time.
Yeah, and before I forget, just to sign off, good win for Ken. He is fast here. Like he had the luck on his side tonight there at the end, but he is fast here. Well-deserved win for him. And good finish, Ricky J as well. And second, he's a goober.
Zach Rogers, driver of the number 5, your 3rd place finisher here tonight from the Texas Motor Speedway. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and finally bring in our 2nd place finisher. He's the driver of the number 93, 93, Voiles Trucking Ford. BSR Ricky J. Ricky, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
Strategy. How'd you kind of make it work for you here tonight?
Oh, it almost worked out. It was tough. I got kind of lucky with a caution there during that green flag run, and so I already had fresh tires, so that allowed me to get out in front, and we had another caution or two, and then 2 tires kind of played its part, so it was just a lottery at that point to see where we would have ended up.
Race like tonight that gets, it's relatively tame. You get a couple of long green flag runs, and then at the end it becomes frantic and hectic and crazy with all the cautions. How do you kind of keep yourself level behind the wheel through all of that?
I would just try your best to keep calm, try to position yourself in the strategy that you feel confident with, and just hope that you're not the one that gets wrecked.
Obviously, finish that race there. You're side by side with the 9 coming to the end of the race. Any thoughts on that last lap coming to the checkered?
Oh, it's just hard racing. Ken's a really good driver. I have a lot of respect for him. He's been sim racing for a very long time, and I've always enjoyed and respected racing with him on the track. It's just hard racing is all it was. I thought about cutting underneath him on the back straightaway, but I'm just like, you know what? I was like, all right, I'm going to bide my time. I knew he was on 2, so I went to the outside, but the outside's not really the preferred groove. So when that caution came out, I'm just like, so I tried to hang him on the quarter panel, and we both just got together, and that spun me around. But I knew it was going to be the end of the race there. So it was just fun, hard, clean racing, and I enjoyed it.
Well, Ricky, another strong run for you here tonight. 2nd place finish. Before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity, because you're really good at these interviews. You make them really easy on me. Don't tell your buddy that. But before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity. You got great partners on the car, as always. You got some great folks to shout out. Floor is yours, man. You know what to do.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming out and racing. Thank you to you guys for doing the broadcast. Thank you to Brian and Kathy Voiles and Magoo and everyone here at BSR for coming out each and every single week. I hope everybody out there enjoyed it. I hope we put on a good show for y'all, and we'll see you next week.
It's our Ricky J, driver of the 93. Ricky, as always, can't thank you enough for taking some time. Appreciate you, as always, being candid with us. And again, man, hope to be talking with you again soon, and congratulations on a strong run tonight.
Thank you.
BSR, Ricky J, driver of the 93, Boyles Trucking for Dewey. That's going to wrap up our coverage here from the Lone Star State, the Texas Motor Speedway. Another good intermediate race in the books here with our friends at BSR.
Yeah, a great race nonetheless. A lot of different things that happened. A lot of chaos at the end, and good to see, a guy that we mentioned earlier that it was going to take maybe some luck or a different strategy to come on top of the 18 and the 5. And, well, Ken Hansen got just enough of that tonight, and a job well done for him to get this thing done. And who knows, maybe this will be a big momentum boost for him, and we could see him in the championship battle later in the year. But either way, a great race to watch unfold.
Folks, remember, if you want to, make sure you don't miss a second of the action, make sure you click the like button on the video and you're subscribed to us here on JTN. You'll get notified anytime we go live by clicking the bell icon right next to that subscribe button. As always, a big thank you to Brian and Kathy Voiles Trucking, for their constant support of not only the Bomb Squad Racing League, but of our broadcasts here each and every Thursday night live on JTN. A big thank you also goes out to all the drivers here, this league, this admin group. They are fantastic. We encourage you every single week, if you're looking for a place to race, check out bombsquadracing.net and find out how you can get out on track, whether it be a Wednesday, a Friday, or even on a Thursday night live on JTN. With all that being said, though, folks, for all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, for my colleague Dewey Schramm, I've been Joe Towinski. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks.
3 wide for second, but Sean Whitehill is going to bring it home and win the race at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Ricky J closing up off turn 4. He's going to have a run to the inside. He blocks into the grass. Check it out. Hardy wins it.
Ricky, what's going on in your brain right now?
Yeah, putting on 4 big rubber shoes and 2 gallons of, not 2 gallons, 2 cans of exploding dino juice here, Joe.
Down to the tunnel turn. These guys are throwing it through there and around to the back.
No.
The wall, as well as RJ Bishop. Down in front of Keith Hughes. Oh, no! Big hit. RJ Bishop.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Ricky
big
J,
wreck.
big crash into the wall.
Oh,
The leaders
no.
have wrecked. Ricky J is upside down. Magoo is hard in the wall. Tyler Mallon escapes with no damage. Everybody else in this main group, including Nelly, is junk.
Through the north chute they'll go. The 24's into the wall. Almost contact there. The 10 with the shallow entry into turn 4. It's going to be a drag race down the front straightaway. Folks, the 24's in the wall. They make contact around. Napick goes on through the flip. Rich Napick's going to win the Culver Bluff 200 in thrilling fashion.